Okay, everybody, we're going to talk a little bit about our camp out recently on the weekend of May the 12th, 13th, and 14th at Land Between the Lakes. We went back to where we had some activity where Kumbo had camped, and we got that camping spot and set up there for a few nights to see if we could get anything to happen to us there. But in the meantime, whenever we weren't setting in camp, we did go around and do some calls. And during this weekend, the Thursday night we were there, it rained most of the night, but the Friday and Saturday night we were there, the weather was perfect. There wasn't any wind. It's a full moon that would rise up probably about 11 to 12 o'clock to where you could see across fields and stuff. But the first location we went to, whenever we stopped, we got out, it was just unbelievable how beautiful it was with all the fireflies dancing in the fields and stuff. I couldn't even number how many were there, but I would say 10,000 were just flickering in this field. But as we scanned the field with the FLIR, we could see deer scattered out feeding in this field. And Mark turned to me and said, let me have that FLIR. I want to video the deer as you make a booger call and see what their reaction is. So I let loose with the call, and the deer took off and bunched up and went to the opposite end of the field from us, but they would not go into the woods for any reason at all. And about the time they got to the other end of the field, we could hear a response come to my calls, and at first it was faint, where I couldn't really tell what it was, and I turned to Mark and said, is that a coyote? But it was one solo return vocal, and he's like, no, I don't think so. I think it may be a howl of a booger or something. We kept sitting there and it kept getting closer, and as it got closer you could definitely tell that it was not a coyote. It was a possible booger vocal that we were getting back, and it continued to call and continued to get closer.
It just really seemed peculiar to me that everywhere we went that weekend, we would start recording with the FLIR, the deer. Whenever we would do a booger call, the deer would refuse to go out into the woods. Some of the deer would even move out towards the middle of the field. It was almost like they didn't want to get tricked and pushed off in the woods and get bushwhacked.
I totally agree with that. It was almost like they were huddled up. I bet they were standing side to side whenever they bunched up like that and didn't move at all. They stayed alert the whole time and stayed in that tight group.
Well, we're going to go ahead and play the audio for you and let you see the spectrogram on it. As you will see, the animal frequency does not match up with any type of canine or any other known animal. The animal signature is what we look for when we are looking for purported Bigfoot vocalizations.
getting closer. It's a booger. Are those deer gone? Down at the other end of the field. One of them is. Be sure to check our bags. Two of them is. Don't forget about our bags. I already forgot it.
This is a typical coyote howl. Notice how on the spectrogram chart the frequency range starts off at about 500 Hz and tops out at about 2000 Hz. The signature for the canines looks like a tree with branches on one side. Listen as we play the clip. Now let's examine the first 3 howls we captured after Larry made his booger call. The frequency level starts out at about 650 Hz, then climbs up to 700, then drops back down to around 600 Hz. This is what we look for as a typical purported Bigfoot frequency signature. Listen as we play the first 3 howls again. Stay tuned for more audio we captured. We really appreciate you watching our video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And thanks for watching.